we're going to move on and get into our game of the week. And, we're going to pick some games for you guys. And we hope that, we can help. And we hope you guys have some fun listening. So, Isaac, why don't you tell the folks, like normal, what's our game of the week?
All right, folks, our game of the week is 11th ranked Notre Dame playing in Durham at Wallace Wade Stadium against the 17th ranked Duke Blue Devils at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night.
Yeah, 11 Notre Dame, 17 Duke. This is going to be a good one. Notre Dame, like we just mentioned, coming off a super tough loss to Ohio State. I mean, you got the game won. All you got to do is get some defensive stops. 4 defensive stops is all you need. They let them drive down the field. At one point, they even got Ohio State on an intentional grounding call because they brought the pressure so good. It was 3rd and 19, and Kyle McCord, after that, found Emeka Egbuka at the 1-yard line. It was pretty much over from there. So they ended up losing. Ohio State gets the dub. Seriously tough loss. But this Notre Dame Duke game, this is a game that's huge for playoff implications. We were also talking about the LSU Ole Miss game for our game of the week, but we thought this one had more importance for the playoffs. That was just trying to get the top of the SEC West. But this game is more important. Duke coming in, they're still 4-0. They're looking to make their way into the top 15, into the playoffs, especially after getting wins over the likes of Clemson and Northwestern. I did want to hit a quarterback comparison here. Sam Hartman from Notre Dame, and this is through 4 games. This is not including their game against Navy. He's 62 and 92, 67% completion rating, 985 yards and 10 touchdowns. Now this is crazy. Riley Leonhard from Duke, 67 and 99, 68%. 778 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown run against Clemson in week 1, and then his last one was last week when he ran another one in. So over 4 weeks, and this guy is only responsible for 2 touchdowns. That is a little scary to me. The Notre Dame defense, they've given up 260 yards allowed a game. The Duke defense, they've given up 276 yards a game. So this game is going to be pretty close. Will it be as close as Ohio State Notre Dame? This game is going to tell us if Duke is actually legit. The ESPN FPI, Notre Dame 69%. The spread is Notre Dame by 5.5. Isaac, you're picking first because I picked first last week. It's the way the cycle goes. Who you got, brother?
Well, this one's tough because College Game Day is going to be in Durham for the first time ever for football. They've been there a lot for Duke basketball, obviously. Shout out Coach K. Just kidding, he's retired. Anyway, this one's going to be a good one. I think the crazies are going to be out. I don't know if they call them crazies in the football stadium. Anyway, all that said, Notre Dame, their defense looked really good against Ohio State. It was a defensive battle. Mike Elko has changed the culture in Durham. Duke has looked really good, but it's concerning that Riley Leonhard's only responsible for 2 touchdowns through 4 games. With that said, I think Duke has a chance to keep it close, but I got the Irish by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, it is concerning to see that Riley Leonhard is only responsible for 2 touchdowns within the past 4 weeks. But I do have to say that they have been running the ball a lot, and that's really what they've been known for. It's just that Clemson game, the only thing they could get going was the pass. And unfortunately, as a Clemson fan, it ended up working out pretty well for them. But against this Notre Dame team, I'm going to say they're legit, man. I mean, their defense really looked good against Ohio State, which doesn't say much. Their offense hasn't really been performing how a typical Ohio State offense is. I think it was just a rough game for the Notre Dame offense. Not saying that they're bad. It just wasn't a good game. We did not see a typical Notre Dame offense with Sam Hartman in there. So really, I don't think it's really a hard choice. I'm going to pick Notre Dame for this game. I think it's honestly going to be a blowout. Duke's offense couldn't really get anything going on Clemson until late in the game when mistakes were being made on the offensive end of Clemson. I don't think Notre Dame is going to make those mistakes. I think they're just going to power through.
Yeah, right. Just because you have a bad offensive game doesn't mean your offense is bad. It's vice versa for defense. I think that this is going to be a really close one. My first thing that I'll say, though, is I think that the biggest thing right now in Duke's favor is that it's at Duke. They have the home field advantage. And if I'm Duke, I'm going to go back to the Clemson game. I'm going to look at what worked against Clemson. How did we cause fumbles? How on defense? How did we run the ball against them? Because their defense, and I said it last week, I said their defense was a little bit lackluster. Clemson's defense was a little bit lackluster against Duke. But what did they do offensively that really worked? How did they get Riley out of the pocket? How did they get him to make plays with his legs, right? I think that's really important. Like I said, right, and it is a little bit of a concern. Riley Leonhard only has 2 touchdowns through 4 games. But Notre Dame, they run the ball well. Sam Hartman can definitely make throws when he needs to, and he can make the big plays downfield. My question is, can Leonhard do that as well? I haven't seen it. I'm going with the Irish here as well, guys. I got Notre Dame to win this game. I don't think it'll be close. The spread is 5.5. I got them by 10. If you want to call that close, sure, that's close. So I'm pretty much. I think I'm more in agreement with the ESPN and FPI. I don't think it'll be close. I think Notre Dame's going to come in, especially with a chip on their shoulder after losing to Ohio State, and I think that they're going to get this one done in Durham.